In this lesson, we're going to talk about Cartesian planes, what a Cartesian plane is, and understanding the language that goes around it, and how to understand and plot points on it. So, let's get started. So a Cartesian plane is simply kind of a graph that has a x-axis and a y-axis. The x-axis is left to right, and the y is up and down. Okay? And this is useful for plotting points of data and turning it into something visual that you can kind of see trends and move things around and manipulate things. So, some of the language that goes with it is reflection, rotation, and translation. Okay. Now, often on a graph you will have plots or a shape that is made, or kind of a trend graph of some sort in higher level math. But regardless, you may have some points that make a shape, and that shape can be manipulated based on different math that you do to it. So the reflection that we talk about can be reflected over a y-axis or the x-axis. So here I have an R, and it's reflected, and if it's flipped that way, imagine a skewer going up and down. And that up and down is representing the y-axis. And this R is rotated that way, just spun around. If I have a skewer going through it, left to right, then that's the x-axis, and it's reflected over the x-axis. Okay. Over here, we're representing rotation. So that's when it's rotating. This, I've had it rotated 90 degrees. So it's rotated, you can rotate it however many degrees, and that's how you get it. And over here we have transformation, which is simply it sliding from one place to another point. But reflection, rotation, translation, those are important language pieces to have when understanding how to use one of these Cartesian planes. Another very important but very simple thing to understand, and you will need to memorize this, is the order of plotting points. So I have here, it's x, y. That order never switches places. The first number is always going to be on your x-axis, and the y is always going to be on the second place, the up and down, okay? So I have an example here, 1, -2. We're going to plot this just to understand how it works. So I'm going to look at the first number. And the first number I know is always on the x-axis. Okay? That's this left and right line. So I'm going to take that 1. I'm going to start at 0 and I'm going to go up 1. I'm going to put my finger on that spot because I've only done the x-axis, but I have to do both. Okay? So that's 1 here. The next number is -2. Now, since it's the second number, I am dealing with the y-axis. So I have to go down 2. So the y is up and down. So I'm going to go down 2. 1, 2. This is going to be my point right here. And it's going to be 1, -2. 1, -2. Okay? You can plot that on a point. Okay? If, for example, you are given a point, I'm going to get rid of these just to make it simpler. If you're given a point, say right here, and you want to know what that is and how to write the coordinates or location to that, this is what you do. Okay? So I'm going to start with my x-axis. I'm going to write my coordinates in there. Okay? My x-axis, I'm going to start at 0 and go down to where it lines up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can tell that that lines up with the 4. So that first coordinate is -4. Good. I don't have to worry about anything now, except for the next number. Here we go. Now, I'm going to go up on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -4, 5. That is how to find the coordinates on a plot when you're not given it. So I hope that helps with understanding the basics of Cartesian planes, and this is a good step to understanding graphing in a greater depth that is done throughout the next grades.